Now you're excused and will be on the record in Herald 2024 CR 115, State of Kansas versus Benjamin Harold Jr. Ms. Jill Gillette, County Attorney, appearing for the state. The defendant, Mr. Harrell, appearing in person and pro se. This matter comes on for a pay or appear. And Mr. Harrell, in reviewing the records, it looks like you have paid a significant amount since your sentencing, October 29th of 24, but you had such a large amount to start with due to the restitution to the sheriff's office that it looks to me like you still owe about $595.25. That is what I show after you paid your $400 recently. Do you need more time to pay that, sir? Are you able to hear me, Mr. Harrell? I can't hear you.
Judge, I don't see Mr. Harrell on the screen. Mr. Florio.
Oh, that's Mr. Florio. I'm sorry. I was thinking I saw Ronald and I just
That's
All right, real quick, I got to thank Lone Wolf Usual. I don't know how to say that. Usual? I don't know. He got me a clean copy of the clip. That was, I believe, from the same call. I'd be interested to know if the intro that I just did, if that was before or after the kerfuffle. But everybody sent it to me. Everybody under the sun sent it to me. And don't worry, I'm not going to say anything because I'm a man. And when I see a good cat fight, I watch the cat fight. I might have some popcorn while I'm watching the cat fight. But I don't get involved in the cat fight. That's how this is done. I'm just warning you now.
I am looking for Alfonso Caldwell and Tanya Sanchez.
We already did Sanchez. We have a Tiana Richardson and a Dustin Newport I still have.
Well, hold on. That's not what I'm showing. What do you have, Missy?
I have Alfonso Caldwell and Tiana Richardson. That Newport bonded out, or no, well, he bonded on ours, and then Lyon County come and got him before.
I noticed. Okay, he was taken off the docket. And what did I do? Mix up Tanya Richardson and Sanchez?
Mm-hmm.
And no one mentioned.
Oh, I also forgot to mention, I just got a fantastic Karen and a couple other things that I from Alyssa as well. That's going to be right after this. But we have to address the main thing of the day, the kerfuffle in Kansas.
That I was using the wrong name.
You were using the right name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, and these are my couple that I don't have anything filed to show that they have to be in court. I don't have a summons. I don't have a uniform notice to appear issued by the officer in the ticket.
Judge, the girls filed the ticket earlier today.
Okay, let me see if it's, maybe I just need to double check. Mr. Caldwell.
Mm-hmm. Tickets were issued January 23rd, 25 at 20:59 hours. But
Okay,
today,
well, let me make sure they made it to the file because I'm not seeing that. I don't see that, Ms. Gillette, and until I have filed verification that they had noticed this hearing. I'm not finding that. You're sure they filed them?
Arlene was the one who did it for us.
No, Missy, do you have that where you can look at it? Because I am not seeing it filed. Maybe I need to. No, I think I've already refreshed to see if they've been added. You want to
They're
check?
not in the case yet.
What was that, Missy?
I said they're not. They're They're not showing up in the case yet.
I don't know if upstairs hasn't approved them or what's going on.
I can check.
Would you check? We'll take just a real quick recess because I don't have anything in the file to show they have notice of the hearing, so I can't take any action for their failure to appear without it.
Arlene's gonna bring the unfiled copy upstairs, Your Honor, but they were submitted this morning by Jessica.
You know, they haven't made it into the file for some reason. Well, I need the originals. You're thinking the originals are on file somewhere or waiting to be filed? See what Missy finds. Maybe they'll find the originals at the clerk.
What, Judge? I'm sorry, I'm back now.
Well, she said they'll bring up, if I understood Miss Gillette right, they're bringing up copies, but where are the originals?
I think I actually have a copy because I was asking them today about it, so
Well, I need.
I can print you off the copies that I got
Now,
sent.
copies, I need original documentation that these people had notice of this hearing, either in the form of a returned summons or a citation. And I don't have one of anything to show that they know about this hearing today.
Your Honor, the citation.
Thanks again, Lone Wolf. Everybody go over there and give him some love.
We get a Xerox of them. We don't get the originals. The originals normally stay either in the file with the sheriff's office now, or they go straight upstairs. But this had to be long formed because it's marijuana. And so
Well, even with the long form, I would accept, you don't have the originals, Arlene? You have copies? Have those been filed with the clerk?
Yes.
They have been filed. They didn't make it into their file. Do you know why? I don't have them in the file.
Well, because that's the clerks.
Okay. Well, Missy, did you check with the clerks?
Yes, I just checked with them and they do not have them. They're not in the queue to approve.
I know they're not in the queue. I looked through the queue. Oh, unless you mean their queue.
Yeah,
Well, what I'm going to do, now I'm looking at copies of tickets, and I've seen enough tickets over the years to know these are tickets, and they do appear to be signed by the signature I know as Blake Fisher's, although I'm not an expert in handwriting. But I am not comfortable issuing any kind of failure to appear warrants if there's no documentation in the file. These are just handed to me, but once they are filed, then I would not hesitate to issue warrants for their failures to appear. So I'm going to set these two cases over till next Tuesday. By then, I'm sure that we'll figure out why those haven't been filed. And then if they're not here at that date and time.
Good point. This video, that's exactly right. First of all, it shows the much higher level that attorneys are held to. And second of all, yes, sometimes it gets a little too cozy, but also familiarity breeds contempt. And even with people you like, you get on each other's nerves. It's kind of like a sibling relationship after a while. You see each other every day, and then they do something you're like, you're making me nuts.
We'll issue warrants, but they'll have to be given notice of the new date and time. And it looks like they're out of Wichita, Kansas. Yes, so
if I have to issue new summonses, then It's going to be more than a week because I have to issue them, send them to Wichita, and have them served on them. They have their notices to appear, complaints.
All right, I'll tell you what, I don't.
I don't even get the original.
Okay, that's not outrageous, but she's a little bitchy. I mean, there's no toys about it. Not this is minor stuff. I see worse every day, but objectively, she's a little bitchy.
Anymore.
I just file the copies, whatever, but they have to be filed, Miss Gillette. I have nothing that gives me legal authority to issue failure to appear warrants. I have in the file, and I'm looking at it, a complaint, a probable cause affidavit, a notice that you're going to rely on KBI reports, and that's it. There is nothing in the file to show legally that they have notice of this hearing. So I don't know where the tickets are. I don't know why they're not filed. I understand that someone in your office said they gave them to the clerk. I understand the clerk to say they don't have them. I don't know where they are, but I do not have them, so I cannot issue any kind of warrant for failure to appear. So in fact, if you find them and get them in there even today.
Oh yeah, this is a cat fight. This is a professional highbrow cat fight. I mean, we're not actually throwing objects here. It's just a little passive aggressive and grumpy, but it's still good.
Today, you can deal with it today rather than trying to issue summonses. Get me something I can legally use. Otherwise,
I'll call Sheriff Samuels and ask him if he can bring the originals out of his file.
I'm not telling you have to do the originals. I'm just telling you, Miss Gillette, I cannot legally issue a warrant. And you know that. You know I have to have verification before I issue a warrant.
And we emailed them to your staff who has them this morning. They were sent to
My
this morning.
secretary is not the clerk of the district court. My secretary is not the custodian for that. They have to be
Brought a
filed.
copy up to you. I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, you better not.
We'll just take it up later.
Miss Gillette, who is the judge here? I am not going to accept your behavior. You're putting me in a position where I'm going to have to find you in contempt of court if you're going to act like this.
I don't have the original, Judge. I can't get it to you. We filed them this morning. That's all I can tell you.
Miss Gillette, you are not listening to me. And you're being contemptuous.
The state has contempt immunity. We already briefed this. If you would like us to get them filed again, we will
You
file.
have contempt immunity? Do you have ethical immunity that you can talk to a judge any way you want and have no repercussions? Is this what you're saying?
Okay, that was a bad thing to say. That was a bad thing to say.
Judge, I will find the originals, whoever has them, and we'll see if we can get them to you. We will get them filed.
And we will finish this later, Miss Gillette. At this time, Missy,
Oh wait, I need it. I need it right now. I wasn't ready, but I really need it.
it looks like Miss Gillette has decided to remove herself from the hearing. As I said, this matter is not over and it will not be tolerated. But for now, we will be in recess.
Oh boy. Okay. Here's the situation. Everyone wants me to know. I don't know. I don't know who's right. Ms. Gillette thought she gave sufficient information for her to do what she wanted. Judge is saying I don't have the basis to do that in the file. I don't know who's right on that because I don't do that. I'm not sitting there looking at tickets and asking for warrants. I don't do that all day. So I will leave that the nitty gritty to the practitioners in Kansas of traffic matters. However, it is clear to me that the prosecutor stepped over a line a little bit in terms of attitude, and then Judge Webster says that stuff because she's tired of it. I don't know where it'll go. I think it's a tempest in a teapot. It's not going anywhere. I think that's about what should happen. She should mention it. She'll get back in line. She wasn't like really she wasn't like crazy out of line. It was modest, but that's what I was saying. Attorneys are held to this standard. Everything you do is watched. She's walking on the edge there with her attitude. Whereas you see like a sovereign citizen roll in there and just drop 3 F-bombs, accuse the judge of child trafficking and or being a swinger in a recent thing. And like nobody does anything. But if you're an attorney and you roll your eyes, you're going to get whacked. That's the way it is. It's frustrating for me to watch these pro se's get away with this crap. It really is. Knowing how tight the behavior is expected of me, and I'm not single out any attorney. I don't think this is a big problem. I think Jill's hangry, and she had a bad day, and Judge Webster kind of verbally smacked her, and that's about that. I don't think it's any bigger deal than that. I think she's a good prosecutor. I think she's a good judge. And these sorts of things happen. Also very common. This level of tension in a courtroom. I've spent years in courtrooms. You see this kind of stuff all the time. All the time. It's not rare at all. It's so like I look at this and think, okay, it's kind of funny. I kind of laugh, but I don't think it's a big deal on either front. I really don't, unless it continues. Unless someone wants to double down. The thing I think she said most. I think the worst thing she said is we have immunity from contempt, which is a stupid thing to say, and Webster called her out on it right there. Exactly that, implying I can do whatever the hell I want. No, you can't. No, you can't. That doesn't mean you throw everything out the window and you can just act any way you want in court. I also don't think she got that wild, but that, in my judgment, was not a smart thing to say in a hearing to a judge. Was it the end of the world? No. Do I think she's a good prosecutor? Overall, yes, I do. I mean, look, this all came up. I don't think I did any videos on it, but this similar sort of stuff came up. I don't know, a while back. I didn't do any videos on it, but I guess Jay Regier was having a hard time getting discovery to defendants or some damn thing, and he got chewed out a bunch of. These things happen. It's an adversarial process, and we go through a bunch of stuff. These things happen in court. In substance, this is a big nothing. To watch it, it's amusing. This is the usual thing. This is like watching someone trip on the sidewalk. It's hilarious if it's not you. If you're in the middle of it, it sucks. Either end. That's the way it is. All right. Speaking of which, let's go on. We've got ourselves a fantastic Karen, courtesy of Alyssa. Let's do it.
So 84 and a 70 is what you are clocked
Which is
at?
not true. I was
Okay.
not doing 84 and a 70. And I was checking my meter, my speedometer on a regular basis. And what he was pissed off with, it wasn't that I was speeding, because that was a lie. And I told him it was a lie. And I told him I wasn't speeding on camera. The problem was,
Karen kicks it off right away. 3 in a row.
Which is number one, wrong.
is that he was pissed that I didn't lag around like everybody else. And I made sure that my speed limit was between 68, 69, no further than 70, 71, 72. I kept lagging off. And he was mad because I went ahead of him. And that's what he said. Because I said, you're a lie. I said I wasn't speeding. And he said, well, you moved ahead of me. That's what he said. And that's what he was pissed off with. And that's the reason why I'm in court, because I'm very upset that I got a ticket that somebody lied, because I wasn't doing 84. I was not. And I saw my speed limit. And I don't appreciate that he did what he did. And that's why I'm here.
I don't appreciate that I got a ticket for going too fast. What an a-hole.
Right. What's your story against his story? He says you're going 84. You
Well,
say
I
you're
wasn't. And if it's my word against his word and you don't have any other proof, then that's you. It shouldn't just be the officer. We are both citizens. And I am a citizen. I serve the.
I'm a citizen. She thinks that's really big deal. Literally like 98% of the people rolling around the streets are citizens. Okay. Well, whoa. I guess we can't issue a ticket to you then.
Public, just like the officer does and just like you do. I am a teacher. And I don't appreciate anybody lying on me about my speed.
Oh, that's so depressing. She announces she's a teacher, and then her next statement is, I don't appreciate people lying on me. Betraying the fact that she doesn't know how to speak English. Sweet Jesus.
And if you are having his word against mine and you have no other proof, that's a problem. Because you're not able to prove that.
Can you please just wait 1 second? Just please. Not his word. It's a certified speeding device that has certification in the court that has been tested for accuracy that got you 84.
I was not doing 84. And we also don't, and I was trying to get a lawyer because I know that that's not true either. Those things are not accurate.
Do you want
And
me to
if
set this
that's
over for you to
accurate,
find
that's a
lawyer?
freaking lie because I know I was not going any more than the lower 70s. And I'm a little bit hot.
I mean, Karen is cranked up and just wrong as a matter of English, as a matter of logic. She said, if that's accurate, it's a lie. If it says you're going 84 and it's accurate, we're assuming arguendo, it's accurate. Then you're going freaking 84. My God, she's teaching our children.
That is something that you are trying to say. That is not true.
All right,
So
ma'am.
if there is a ruling that I don't like, I would like to see how I can protest against this because
Oh, Karen, there's going to be a ruling you don't like coming up. at the first opportunity, I assure you.
That's how you're
doing that.
protesting against it. It's called a contested hearing.
protesting as far as somebody else
Ma'am,
reviewing.
can you please
or
this
getting-
is just a contested hearing. If we could, as a teacher, if you could just please maintain some cordial conversation, I'd really appreciate it because you are coming off really hot, as you said. So please.
Well,
I
I apologize, Judge. I'm not trying to come off hot, so I apologize.
Talk normally, okay?
But what'd you just say?
So let's just talk normally to one another.
Okay,
because
well,
would
that's
you
not
like
something
me
you
to
should
set
have
this
to say
over for you
either,
to find
because that's
attorney?
actually something else too, which we won't get into.
Sorry, Judge, I only speak Karen.
Would you like
That
me
can
to
be
set
considered
this?
bias when you say stuff like that. But anyway, I'm gonna
Would
leave that
you
alone.
like me to set this over for you to find an attorney?
Yes, I would.
Okay, this is going to be set over in due course. It's going to be set over so that she can find an attorney. This is so you'll receive a notice in the mail. You're going to be set for the contested attorney docket then at 11. And we need to receive a notice of appearance from an attorney. So that way you can appear on that docket.
Wait, when?
So you're going to be receiving a notice in your mail for set in due course for the attorney docket, so that you stated that you want to find an attorney. So the attorney
I
docket.
do, and I was having difficulty, so because my other attorney is not in this area. He's in Pierce County. So now I got to try to figure out where to find one. But
So why do you have an attorney in another county? Are you just getting charged all over the place? Or is he somebody who does something irrelevant like real estate closings? There's no good answer to my question.
yeah.
All right. So you'll receive a notice in due course that's going to be mailed to your address in Seattle. And then we will just proceed from there.
Okay.
All right.
And
Thank you for your time.
excuse me, Judge, when will that be?
What are you asking about? When will you see the notice?
Yeah,
in the
when will
mail?
I receive that notice?
How long does that take? About?
Usually it can take up to a month. They may not receive notice. If she retains an attorney, the attorney will get the notice.
Okay. So it usually can take up to a month. However, if you retain an attorney, they will be the ones receiving that notice. We just will receive a notice of appearance on our end, and then they'll just have your court date.
Okay. All right. And I apologize. I'm just a little bit upset about this.
No, I understand, but I'm here
yes.
to listen and help you. And I just, I'm not out trying to get you. So I would like to help you with this process. So that's why we're going to set this over for you to find an attorney so that you're set up the best way that you want to be set up. We don't want you to be set up for failure.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Stephen
Yeah, she really is an absolute advertisement for homeschooling.
Roth.
I appreciate that help.
Okay, this one's kind of fun. We got a whiner, but I will admit to you right now, we got another whiner on a traffic ticket. It's not quite as fun only because he doesn't show up. But he's every bit as big a big blubbering baby as this woman, that last woman was.
The court calls case number 24B like Berkeley E04764, Berkeley versus Thomas Walter Matajasic. Mr. Matajasic, today's the date and time set for your informal hearing. An informal hearing is non-criminal. No one goes to jail today on this parked in a fire lane ticket, but it's considered serious enough that Sergeant Smith in fact issued the citation, which occurred on November the 24th of this year, strike that, last year at 5 p.m. A vehicle plated to you or a member of your household, to wit a 2008 Honda, white in color, was parked on Woodward Avenue at or near Oxford in the city of Berkeley in a fire lane and or within 15 feet of a hydrant. So this is a non-moving, non-point violation of parked in a fire lane or prohibited parking. You have three options. Mr. Matajasic, you may admit responsibility in this matter. You may admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility. That'll look more like a trial. We'll swear in the witnesses, take testimony, and then the court will have to decide on the civil burden of proof, which is a mere preponderance of the evidence, whether or not you did in fact park in a prohibited fashion. So as to parked fire lane, do you wish to admit and explain, or deny responsibility? Explain. Very well. So you're going to confirm to the court that on the date in question, a vehicle plated to you or a household member was parked improperly in a fire lane, correct?
Yep.
Thank you. Court accepts your plea, and what would you like the court to know related to your explanation?
First thing, I had a court date before this date.
Okay.
And, I was notified by the court that they were changing the court date. I said, no, I didn't want the court date changed. The court's there, I'm going to be there. And I came in on that date, and I never got to speak to him.
You never got?
I never got to speak to anybody about my case.
Okay.
Okay. And I feel that my case was supposed to be heard that day, and I would like to know the legal reason why my case wasn't heard that day, or a reason why my case was postponed to another date. That's what I would like.
That occurs from time to time, and let's see if Miss P can look that up for you, so I can at least tell you
Yeah.
what might have happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to know.
The court would, however, note that dismissals are an interesting animal in the law, in as much as if there is a case, either civil or criminal, and no one has yet been sworn in, a dismissal is technically without prejudice, and the party that brought the case to begin with can make a motion to reinstate the case. So the court understands what you're saying. The court would.
It was just because of the scheduling with the officer.
Okay. So apparently there was a memo or some other information received from the city of Berkeley, which is one of two cities this court has jurisdiction over, and the matter was in fact adjourned. So that is something that is completely permissible under the law. What, if anything, would you like to explain about the parking situation?
I would like to know, Your Honor, was that a legal reason, or was that just somebody didn't want to come to court then?
It's not an issue if somebody didn't want to come to court, sir. Had you requested that the matter be postponed, the matter would have been postponed. The same should apply to the other party. This court sits over civil infractions, it sits over civil cases, it sits over criminal cases from the misdemeanor to the felony level, landlord-tenant cases. We see a lot of cases all the time. And sometimes due to docket congestion or the availability of one or the other party, the matters do get rescheduled. It is not really, it is a distinction without a difference to say it's a legal reason versus a reason that somebody didn't feel like coming to court. That's really not the case. Is there anything else you want to explain to the court?
Yeah, Your Honor, what I would like is the reasons that the court...
The court just gave you the reason. Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
Because Berkeley wanted the court changed?
Mr. Matajasic, this particular magistrate did not personally handle the adjournment. What the court is suggesting to you is that between the cities of Royal Oak and Berkeley, there are north of 70,000 permanent residents and a daytime population that gets north of about $150 between both cities, i.e. 150,000 people. The court is not intending to sit here and argue with you all afternoon related to whether or not it was a legal reason or not. The court suggested to you earlier that had you requested the adjournment, it would have been granted. So the court considers it simply a courtesy and not a function of the court rule that parties should get at least one bite at the apple. Apparently, all of Sergeant Smith's cases that day were moved to another day. That is a standard situation. So if you decide to come to court on your own power and your own steam on the date that you prefer, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to change those circumstances. Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
Well, I can see where, we are not getting anywhere there because I don't understand.
Mr. Matajasic, you offered a plea of responsible.
Right.
The court is at the point in this proceeding where it is ready to impose a sanction. So,
can I just bring up the ticket?
Mr. Matajasic, you have admitted responsibility. So there are no other procedural defects that you could bring up that are possibly going to unring that bell. Okay? You offered a plea of responsible. The court has accepted your plea. The court is now at the point in the proceedings where it is ready to impose a sanction. This would mean if you have an explanation, it was an emergency, somebody was ill, we had to ditch the car there and run in to seek some aid or something like this, that's where we're at.
Something like that.
Okay, so.
The only thing is the fire lane is not posted fire lane.
Okay. Sergeant Smith, I just want you to know, and I appreciate your patience, that Mr. Matajasic
I want to dumber down the ticket. I want to fight that.
is here in person. And he has made the remark that he believes although he's already offered a plea that's been accepted by the court, he's suggesting it's not marked as a fire lane. What can
Your Honor,
you tell?
fire hydrant in front of Westbourne Market.
Fire hydrant in front of Westbourne. So he was within 15 feet of a hydrant.
Well, he was within the 15 feet of the hydrant. And
Thank you very much. So that might illuminate a little bit for you. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with the court?
I can show you a picture of where the car was parked. There's no fire lane signs there. There's no markings. And as far as the fire hydrant's on a corner there with 3 sides that can be reached anywhere over there. My vehicle was parked. If you look at the parking spot where it is right now, the parking spot is closer than 15 feet to the fire hydrant.
Anything else you want the court to know?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So the court would make note that, and the court appreciates all your input, and your input at this juncture is respectfully closed. The court makes the observation that this was not a fire lane, but a fire hydrant. The court also makes the observation that there was due notice, procedural due process with respect to the ticket because of the fact that the actual city ordinance number appeared on the ticket, which applies to both fire hydrants and fire lanes. Is the court correct, Sergeant Smith?
Correct.
And as far as making a subjective judgment as to whether or not the necessity of obeying a law applies on a particular day or not, that is not for citizens to decide. The court is going to assess a modified fine of $25. That is payable through the pay portal on the court's website. You can pay it today, or you can come in here within 7 days, and that completes your hearing. Good luck to you. Thank you.
I'll pay it today.
Very well.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Officer Peter.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. I had that yesterday, but I was stuck yesterday having to practice law. I even had a court appearance today, and I got more stuff to do. Or Yesenia's going to get mad at me. You know, that's the way it is. But I put this together. I finally got a clean copy. It was fun to see the kerfuffle in Kansas. I like the Karen. Where was she, in Washington? And this big blubbering baby in Michigan. Always a good time. Always a good time. Thank y'all for coming out. Yeah, I got my hairs cut. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for coming out. I'll see y'all soon.